Welcome back to HQ Spotlight. Watching the Dolphins is like watching The Godfather Part 3. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. After a 2-7 start, they are back in the playoff graphic in the hunt after 3 straight wins. Their defense, very impressive these last few games, holding opponents to a best 14.3 points per game between weeks 10 and 13. The Dolphins are hot right now, but they're going to face the Jets in chilly East Rutherford this week. And as we know, cold weather and the Fins don't always get along.
Well, the first things first, it's going to be code. You know, you kind of have that on top of your mind. And then outside of that, it's a mentality. It's a mindset. This is what we get paid to do, to play football, regardless. It's raining, it's snowing, it's sleeting, it's hot, it's cold. Regardless, we got to go out there and play.
Yeah, if you're the Dolphins, you just got to be the Postal Service. No matter the condition, you got to go out there and do your job. From the Pushing the Pile podcast, we have Mike Renner and J.P. Acosta rejoining us here to preview the Dolphins-Jets Week 14 matchup. Their second meeting this year. Miami got them back in Week 4. J.P., I'll start with you. Tua, 7-0 his career playing the Jets, but 0-7 in games where it's 46 degrees or colder. It'll be in the 40s there in Jersey. Are the Dolphins playing well enough right now to overcome the cold?
I think so, and it's largely because I think this run game has really started to find some sustainability. They're one of the better rushing teams in the NFL despite their record, and I think given the way that Mike McDaniel has really helped create some sustainability in the run game using the offensive line, Patrick Paul's played really well. Devon Achane at running back has had quietly one of the most impressive seasons for a running back this year. Given all the ways they can attack the edges of defenses using their run game, I think they just have found some sort of effectiveness against the cold weather because they now have a run game that they can actually use to be not only successful in moving the ball, but also explosive.
I'll also add that their secondary has really outplayed a lot of people's expectations. We thought going in it was going to be Minkah Fitzpatrick and then a lot of question marks. Fitzpatrick's been awesome, but I think their cornerback duo of Rasul Douglas and Jack Jones have been playing extremely well as well. Jack Jones himself looks like one of the best pure cover corners in the NFL this season. Now, he's looked like that in the past and been kind of a roller coaster when he's not on the football field, which is why he's, crashed out in New England, crashed out in Las Vegas, and now why he ends up here. But he's only allowed 189 yards all season long. The guy has been outstanding there. So this secondary that we kind of had big question marks going into the season, it's really gelled and playing really well of late.
You mentioned that secondary. The first 9 games of the season, the Dolphins only had 7 takeaways. Last 4 weeks, weeks 10 through 13, they have 7, in large part because of guys like Jack Jones, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Rasul Douglas. Now, guys, I want to get who your players to watch are for this game for the Dolphins. I know you both went to the trenches, so Mike, I'll start with you. Who's someone to key on this week if the Dolphins want to push that win streak to 4 straight?
Yeah, for me, it's Kenneth Grant, the rookie defensive tackle, because playoffs this year is kind of out of the question. We can be real about that and say they're not getting back into that mix. But you got to figure out what you have for the coming years because you're at really a crossroads for this franchise of where you want to go over the next 2-3 seasons. And Grant's a guy that should be a cornerstone player. When you draft a defensive tackle in the top 15, he better be a home run. And he's just not been that. 1 run stop in his last 5 games. And this guy was like a nose tackle at Michigan. That is what he was brought in to do. Now, 15 pressures is all right, but he has not been the down-to-down impact player. And that's the worry, is that you're going to have to rely on him going forward, and we really haven't even seen flashes from here. Hopefully we see those flashes down the stretch.
And in my player, I actually have, you don't really get the chance to talk about centers a lot. But I'm going to talk about Aaron Brewer, center for the Miami Dolphins. When you watch the Dolphins run game, go watch number 55 at center. He's making a lot of plays in the movement skills, and his ability just to get to the second level and really take on linebackers is so critical to this Miami Dolphins outside zone run scheme. A lot of Devon Achane's plays where he's outside the tackles, it's Aaron Brewer leading him to the promised land. So when you're watching this game against the Jets, look out for Aaron Brewer, look out for the center, because he's actually one of their core players, their core future players moving forward.
He's a huge part of that offensive line and that run game. He gets off the line so quickly. All right, let's move to the other side of this game. We've got the Jets. They are 3-2 in their last 5, and considering that they lost their first 7 games, they have found some success. We should give them credit. Mike, where are they showing the most signs of improvement to you?
I think the guy that just this team in general, where I've seen it, is the defensive side of the ball. I think on that side, we would think after losing Quinn and Williams, Sauce Gardner, that they would be taking a big step back. That has not been the case whatsoever. And you see it there on this graphic. Like, this team has really risen above and finally playing in like Aaron Glenn's image. I think that was the biggest worry with me the first half of the season, was that he was not elevating the side of the ball that he was responsible for. He comes over as a DC, and that was the problem for this team. So you're finally seeing that start to calm down, and I think Aaron Glenn is buying himself more time there as the head coach because of it.
I think it's also just the youth on the team is playing really well on both sides of the ball. I think since getting A.D. Mitchell in the trade from the Colts, he's played pretty well. I think you're getting a lot of important contributions from Azaria Thomas at corner. You're getting a lot of fun plays from their young defensive line now that Quinnen Williams isn't there. And I think just finding, and the Jets really, in these wins, they haven't really been super emphatic victories, but they're finding ways to win. They're using game-winning field goals, special teams, winning however winning comes. And I think that's a really nice reflection of how this team still believes in Aaron Glenn. So I think coaching and just getting the young guys reps has really helped them improve.
All right, I want to get your guys' player to watch. I think you two have been spending a little bit too much time together because you both went the same route here. JP, why don't you lead us off for the Jets? Who are you taking a look at this weekend?
Yeah, I had to steal one out of Mike's playbook. I'm going with A.D. Mitchell in this game. He has been such a fun player to watch for the Jets this season since coming over from the Colts. It hasn't always been pretty. I will say it has not always been great. There have been drops. There have been focus plays where he's just like, what are you doing, man? But the highs are so high, the explosive plays downfield. And not only should he be an impact player in this game, but moving forward for the Jets, he is sort of their floor spacer. If we think about like in basketball terms, he is their three-point shooter. He's going to go create explosives down the field and open up lanes for Garrett Wilson and whoever they get to add to that receiver room. So A.D. Mitchell's ability to take the top off the defense is going to be huge in this game.
Yeah, because with Adonai Mitchell, who's my player to watch too, it's not about talent with him. He has as much talent as pretty much any receiver in the NFL. Since day one, there's a lot of places that track separation scores, whether it's PFF, fantasy points, these other outlets. He's top 10 in the NFL since day one as a rookie in terms of getting open. It is finishing the plays that's been the problem with him. 14% career drop rate, 3 fumbles on 43 catches in his career. But last week, 8 catches, 102 yards, and a touchdown. You saw the high level that he's capable of. And I love that they got him in this trade because he is a big-time wild card. The upside is super high. And if he really figures out that reliability aspect in a way that we didn't really see from the past 2 years, but we saw his last year at Texas, I think he's going to be an awesome number 2 to Garrett Wilson's number 1.
All right, it's time for predictions now. Mike and JP, let's see which team is going to stay on that upward trajectory. Mike, I'll start with you. Who do you have winning the second meeting between the Dolphins and Jets this season?
Yeah, I have the Dolphins winning this one. I think this team is kind of the team Dolphins fans had hoped for coming into this season. I think they finally have it all together. I think they just have much more firepower offensively, and I love their run game traveling and making them better in cold weather games this time around.
I'm also taking the Dolphins here. I think they have 2 things that they can hang their hats on in this game, which is, like Mike said, a sustainable run game and rushing offense with Devon Achane and Ollie Gordon as their running backs. And then very quietly, Anthony Weaver has really turned it around with his Dolphins defense. Like we said, all the turnovers have really started to pop for this defense lately. So I think given the fact that they can run the ball and they can play good defense, I think I'm going to take them in this game.
All right, we'll see if defense travels and Miami gets to that 4th consecutive win and a win away from now being 500 after that 2-7 start. Mike and JP, thanks so much. Reminder, check out Mike Renner and JP Acosta on the Pushing the Pile podcast. The guys give us their locks for week 14 on their latest episode. Use that QR code on your screen or check them out wherever you listen to your podcasts.